Go ahead, Bharath. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. So I'm Bharath and I'm with Anisha, and today we are talking about GMU and its related information. Wait for it. So just an outline for how we will continue this program. First, me and Anisha and I will talk about our background, and then we'll go into getting into college, our freshman year, our academics and extracurriculars, social life, and an overall summary of GMU. So first about me, I'm Bharath. I attended Fairfax High School, and I graduated last year. And I'm currently a freshman at George Mason University. I'm majoring in computer science with a minor in data science.
Hi, I'm Anisha. I attended John Champ High School. I also graduated last year. I too am a freshman at George Mason University, and I am a neuroscience major.
And if you have questions, you can ask throughout the presentation. There's no need to wait for us to finish. So the first main things about getting into college, the first one is obviously high school GPA. The GPA is not the biggest thing required for college, but it is pretty important. And obviously you want a good GPA. And while different colleges do have different acceptances of certain GPA numbers, it's important that you do well in high school and get good grades. The next portion is the application itself and college essays. This is a very important part of your application. It's typically done through online sites like Common App or Coalition App. And pretty much through these websites, you can apply for colleges directly. College essays are mainly required because colleges want to know who you are as a person besides your grades and numbers. They want to know what you've experienced and what you plan on pursuing through their college. And it's the overlooked but very critical aspect of the college application. Next, testing. Testing is pretty straightforward. Most colleges in Virginia take the SAT or ACT, and GMU takes both as well. Although the SAT is more favorable in general. And another very critical part of the application and getting into college is extracurriculars. This includes clubs in high school, sports, other things that are not related to academics directly. And while a lot of people skimp this part of the application and don't really consider it important, it really is, as it shows colleges that you are more than just grades, more than just numbers, and that you are like a real person and you have interests in, etc. So, freshman year, the first thing you'll look at is orientation. Orientation happens in the summer. And what that is it's a way for you to go to your college, understand the layout and what to expect before you actually go to college. Orientation is, a lot of people skip orientation, but it's pretty important because it not only groups you with other kids, other freshmen, but it allows you to get settled into college before you actually go. Campus life is pretty important, obviously. GMU has a wide variety of facilities and rec centers, and you're able to interact throughout the campus. Dorm life, I don't dorm personally. Let me check. Oh, I can't do the chat. So if Anisha has a question, could you take a look at that? No, I will. And so dorm life, going on about dorm life, I don't dorm because I commute from home. But GMU has a very good, solid dorm system. You can pick roommates from high school or from an online application. And roommates are important because you live with these kids for your whole semester and whole year. And although people do move out eventually, it's still a critical aspect, and you want to make sure you get a good dorm mate. This, let me check this. I don't know how to check it. Regarding academics, classes are structured by 1 or 2 meetings per week with professors. And besides that, there are labs from the professor's assistant. And what they do is they help you understand the material that you learn in the main class. Because although it is a long class, you might not be able to understand all of it right away. So going to the assistant and understanding the material is very important. So it's best if you attend those labs as well. In college, you won't learn everything from the class. Self-study is very important, and GMU has the facilities required for that. They have a lot of libraries on campus itself, and it's important you keep track of where you are in class. GMU has a wide variety of study abroad opportunities, although currently you probably cannot go anywhere right now. Right now, they offer over 75 countries worth of study abroad opportunities, and GMU has a branch in Korea as well, which is a very popular destination. GMU does offer online coursework. Is that a question? GMU.
Yeah, Anisha is answering the questions while you're talking, so we are good. Yep.
Oh, okay. I can't tell because of the screen share. Continuing on, GMU does offer online classes. A lot of summer classes will be online this semester, and they do offer it throughout the year as well. Online courses are done through Blackboard typically, and I took one last semester for geography, and I think it was pretty well. Obviously, for different content and different subjects, it could be harder or easier. From my experience, I think it was a pretty good option. GMU is also our R1 research university, meaning it's very highly rated for research. And that offers students a lot of opportunities to pursue their field and what they want to do when they grow up. And in classes, dealing with professors is also a big deal. You always want to be on their good side because you never know when you might need their help later on. Like for example, for my internship that I have over the summer, I needed some help from the professor for his recommendation. And thankfully, I was on good terms with my professor and I was able to get the internship with his help. And the professors teach in like sometimes very large classes. So you want to stand out and you want to make sure they know you by attending office hours or just talking to them in general, because they have so many kids, they might not even know your name. And it's important you stick out and make sure that you and him are on good terms. Extracurricular activities. So GMU has a wide variety of options to do outside of classes only. We have research teams. We have more than 35 fraternities and sororities. We have a wide variety of clubs. And we also have pretty good sports. From my memory, I think we had our team place Final Four, I think 2016. We have the best pep band in the United States, and through Handshake, which is an online application, through GMU and Handshake, you can get a lot of job and internship very easily, especially in this DC area where there are a lot of companies available and wanting to have interns. So obviously, a big part of college is your social life. And you meet people through your dorms, through classes, clubs. And although it is important that you grind and get good grades in college as well as high school, it's also important that you have some free time and outside of the classes to explore the college, explore things around the college and people there. You don't want to focus only on studies pretty much. And GME has over hundreds of clubs. And if you don't find one that interests you, you can always make your own. And so you always have a spot at GMU and you always will find people of like-minded interests. I think that's pretty cool. So overall, in summary, college is a one-time experience. And through college, not only can you get a great education and through GMU as well, but you can also interact and make acquaintances with people around you. It's important that you find an appropriate balance within work and play. And also you have to make sure that you maintain academic standards despite senioritis. Because I know a lot of seniors, now that classes are already over, are almost over, and you already got into college, senioritis will hit hard, but you should keep that up and not fall too hard because that carries over into college as well. And even in college, you cannot slack off. College is hard, just as hard as high school. So you want to make sure you stay on top of everything. And I think for our presentation, that's about it. If we have questions in the chat, I think Anisha can answer them, and I'll answer them as well. Go back to the slide here.
Anisha, you can read out the question and you can answer that verbally now.
Okay. So, regarding the double major thing, there is, when you go speak to your advisor during orientation or right after orientation, which is required before you start, usually they'll go over like, if you took any AP courses and those credits can transfer, they can strike those classes from your required course list, or if, let's say, you do want to double major, they'll be the ones to talk to you about, you know, which courses you need to take in order to qualify for that double major. My advisor personally, when I went to go and get my classes sorted out for my first semester or two, she actually gave me a full sheet of paper that it had slots, it had spaces for each and every semester that I would be there. So it had fall, spring, and I did that for 4 years. And I was able to plan out every course I wanted to take during my entire time at Mason. So it's extremely helpful. You're not required to adhere to it. I've had to switch around some courses due to, you know, sometimes classes would be full by the time it was my turn to register. But yeah, if you talk to your advisor, they can definitely take care of that whole double major thing for you. Is it required to stay on the campus during freshman year? No, it is not. If you live close enough to George Mason, you can apply for off-campus living and you don't have to live in the dorm. But I commute. I live close enough to George Mason, and I'm about like a 30 to 45 minute drive away from Mason. I live in Loudon. But if you live any further, then yeah, it's required. And when you're required to stay there, you have to have the specific meal plan called the Independence Meal Plan. It is the most expensive one, but if you live in a dorm that doesn't have a full kitchen, you need that meal plan. So if you live too far away, you're required to both stay in the dorm and have the like maxed out meal plan. Are there any more questions?
Oh yeah, adding on to that, George Mason is very good at taking in AP credits. Like if you take in AP credits, they most likely will accept them. I was able to transfer 40 credits over from high school, and it helped me a lot for my graduation because I will be graduating a year early. But like GMU will take in almost all credits, and that's really helpful.
Yeah, same here. I don't have nearly as many. I was able to transfer in only 33, but yeah, same deal here. I graduate a semester early because of that. How the psychology class is in, I am actually currently taking psychology. So I'm taking Psychology 101, which is the most basic psychology, and it's fun. It's very basic. It's because it's a requirement for the neuroscience major. I mean, even if I say it's basic, but I think it goes fairly in depth for an introductory course to psychology. It is a big class because it is a 100 level course. So back when we were physically in the building, the class, I believe, was more than 100 people, but it wasn't the biggest class that I took. That title goes to my chemistry class, but it was a pretty big class. We used it was like a stadium type thing. But yeah. Oh, and also for psychology, you have a required 7 hours of research volunteering. So you have to volunteer to be a subject of research for at least 7 hours in order to get, if you wanted 100 in the class, 7% of your grade comes from 7 hours of research. So after the psychology question, what are the job prospects for graduating from GMU? That depends on both your major, what careers you're interested in, the internships and opportunities that you took advantage of while you were in school, and the research projects that you chose to do, if you're planning on majoring in one of the sciences. If you wanted to major in psychology, are there more classes for it? Yeah. So like I said, I'm taking the really basic psychology, Psychology 101, but later on in my academic career, I will be taking several 300 level psychology courses, which are, it's basically I guess you could say junior level classes. But those are probably going to be smaller in size. They're more specific to psychology and neuroscience major classes. But yeah, there are plenty of other classes for psychology. Early acceptance and early decision. So do you need the difference between the two, or how that works for GME specifically? How it works in general? Okay, so early decision is the application you take if you know that you want to go to GMU. Because if you apply early decision, then if you get accepted, you have to go. You have to withdraw all of your other applications to other schools. You can only go to GMU. I think the only way that agreement is non-binding is if you genuinely cannot afford to go and you have to show proof, and then they'll say, okay, then they'll say it's okay if you don't go. Early acceptance is a lot more lenient. It is just an earlier deadline. I believe last year when I was applying, the early acceptance deadline was November 15th. It'll be probably around the same time this year if things work the same this year with everything going on. But you are not legally bound to attend George Mason if you get in. The time period difference between the two is I want to say 3 to 4 months. Early acceptance, that's the one that's not legally binding. So you just apply early and you get your decision earlier than other people. Do EA and ED improve your chance of acceptance compared to regular application? I don't know. I don't particularly think so. I mean, of course, there's a little bit of a benefit in being among the first batch of applicants that the admissions officers see. they're definitely not as tired reading all of those applications. Usually, like generally, this is for like colleges in general, not JMU specific, but admissions officers tend to read applications in the order that they come in. So they're going to read someone's application if they applied on October 1st, much earlier than the person who applied the day that it was due. So applying earlier does have your application looked at earlier by admissions officers, and so they might be in a different, more favorable state of mind, but they look at your application. But that's probably the only benefit I can think of. No problem. Is that all? Any more questions? Okay, I think we're done.
Did you talk about some internship opportunities you've been pursuing, or anything from the college you guys are getting help for?
For
Well,
internships, oh, you can go. I'm sorry.
oh, someone has a question. Two people have questions. Okay, how does the meal plan work if you're living off campus?
You don't need a meal plan if you're living off campus. I do have like a cheaper version of the meal plan.
Same.
Yeah, so it's all optional if you're not on campus. Not a big deal. It's only mandatory for people on campus who are living there and who are freshmen.
And who don't have a kitchenette in their dorm.
Yeah.
If they have a kitchen, they're not required to pick any meal plan. What's the average GPA to get in? I don't know, but I can look that up for you if you'd like.
I think it's 3.6, but I'm not sure exactly. Like I'm not sure.
3.65. Yeah, you were right. So that's like a AB student, I think. Yeah, AB student.
Did you talk about any clubs or any activities you have in college where
Yeah,
like,
so someone did ask in the chat earlier about clubs and organizations at GMU. So I dropped a link in the chat, but it doesn't, like, if you click on it, it won't take you anywhere because it's not a hyperlink. You're gonna have to manually copy and paste, which is a bit of a bother. But there is a list on GMU's website that goes through every single organization that they have. And so this includes like the cultural clubs, like the Indian Student Association, and then the dance club. I'm pretty sure that list also has all the Greek life organizations they have there.
oh, okay.
But yeah, those are the clubs there. So what are the benefits of GMU and why did you pick it over other colleges?
You can go first, I guess, or should I?
You go first. You
All
answer
right,
this
okay.
question.
All right. So when I applied to GMU, well, I am a computer science major. And in this area, especially, there are a lot of computer science companies related organizations in this area, especially. So that's why I'm mainly, because I got into other colleges as well. I've gone into tech, I got into Pitt, gone to UMD, etc. But I figured for GMU, it was best for my desired field. Like GMU computer science is actually underrated in my opinion. And in this area, I was able to get an internship as well through the government as well. And I think for computer science, at least, GMU is a very good pick. Not only to its own classes, but the area as well and where it's located.
Yeah, I'm not a computer science major, but I would definitely agree with that. This area in general is just a great place for people who are planning to pursue a career in the computer sciences and, you know, just that field in general. Okay, how exactly do you apply for GMU? Like, what do you need? So it's all detailed on the common application, but from what I remember, if I recall correctly, I just needed to answer questions about like personal questions, like where do I live? Like I need to give them my transcript. I need to write, like they wanted information, like personal information about my life. ethnicity, my age, family members that have previously attended GMU, that kind of stuff. It's all in the questionnaire on the common application. And then the common application has like a general essay section that gets sent to every single college you apply to through Common App. And so that essay gets sent to George Mason. But from what I remember, because I didn't apply to honor college straight out of high school, I didn't have to write any extra essays for GMU. How do scholarships work? How is GMU offering scholarships? So I don't know because I haven't actually applied to any scholarships at GMU yet. Bharath, do you have any information on that?
I think GMU does have scholarships for like low income people and like people like
They definitely do.
yeah, but
like they have them, but I don't know like the specifics.
yeah. I did not get a scholarship through GMU, but I know my high school did offer many scholarships through the high school to GMU. So you should check maybe if Chantilly or other high schools offer their own scholarships.
Yeah, I would suggest checking with your high school first.
A lot of third-party organizations also offer scholarships, so that's like the main thing you apply for.
Mm-hmm. And those are like pretty easy to get. Like, for a lot of them, it's a matter of how do you apply for scholarships. So it's pretty simple. There are lots of there are websites you can look up where they have like lists of scholarships and which links to go to apply for them. And a majority of them are simply you put in your name, your age, what years you're planning to study in college for, ethnicity, things like that. For the ones that are ethnicity based, like there are some scholarships for, you know, African American students. There are some scholarships for Native American students. There's some scholarships for Asian American students, and there are some that are just for anyone. There are some scholarships that are for specific majors, and most of these are just a matter of writing like a 500-word essay, maybe a 1,000-word essay, and then you just hit submit. You better make sure those essays are really well written because you're probably competing against a lot of other people because most of these scholarships are national, but it's not particularly difficult to just apply. Getting accepted is another issue, but the application process is not convoluted or complicated. No, usually the 500 word count and 1,000 word count is like a suggested cap, or not a suggested, it is usually a hard cap. Like it has to be 1,000 words or less, or 500 words or less. I don't think I've seen a scholarship application that says it has to be at least 500 words or more, or at least 1,000 words, or I don't think any application is going to say make it exactly 1,000 words or exactly 500 words. Around there is good. Does GMU offer a cybersecurity major or minor? Let me check that for you.
I'm pretty sure we do actually.
You do?
I'm pretty sure GMU does, yeah. And GMU has a very good cybersecurity major or minor option as well. Like GMU is well known for cybersecurity, so that's a good option if you plan on going to GMU.
Yep. The computer sciences in general at GMU are just really, really good. So is more, better, or less? For those essays, you have to be careful because depending upon what it says in the directions, if you go over, it might disqualify you. So if it says 500 words or less, it has to be less than 500 words. Don't go over because you're possibly jeopardizing your chance at that scholarship. If it says at least 500 words, then overshoot a little bit, or overshoot more than just a little bit. Because if you're doing less, again, you're jeopardizing your opportunity for that scholarship. It depends. No problem.
And for essays in general, as long as you clearly convey what you want to convey in your essay, it should be fine. Like there's a prompt which you have to write about, and so as long as you are able to tell the reader what you want in a good manner, it should be fine.
Sometimes these scholarships will have you like do something and send in proof that you did it. The first thing that comes into mind is this kind of funny scholarship that's actually given by, I believe it's the duct tape company, and it asks you to make a prom dress made out of duct tape, and you can get quite a solid chunk of money, like in the thousands, for doing that. Like, so it's not always essays. Sometimes you have to send in like, you have to show that you did something, or you have to show that you experienced something like that.
So the other thing you can look at is if you are you're banking with the credit union banks, like if you are a member of credit union, your parents or someone who is a member of credit union, they normally give out around $2,000 for a year, something like that. So, but check with those banks, the credit unions. They normally have some scholarship set aside for their members. So, Navy Federal Credit Union, Digital Federal Credit Union, and there are some examples of those banks which they give out scholarship. But it's not a lot of money, but maybe to the it may be a one-time scholarship or recurring. So you can reach out to them, apply for it. So
Is there a due date for scholarships? So for most of them, at least the ones that you apply for in high school that I know of, yeah, the due date is usually sometime in January. The ones that I applied for or that I looked for, usually that had like a due date by Jan 1st or Jan 15th, something like that. Can you get a scholarship anytime in college? I don't think so. I think those also have deadlines. Probably around the same time, sometime through January through March. I haven't looked too closely at the due dates for the scholarships, but yeah.
But yeah, scholarships are not only for high school students. Like you can get scholarships in college as well. Yeah, you can get scholarships throughout college as well. Like I'm applying to them still right now, and I've got none so far, but apply for them throughout as well. Yeah.
Oh, like, can you get one later on in college? Yeah, sure. If like I'm a freshman right now, I'm just about finished with my freshman year, but if I decided at some point next year, like, oh, my financial plan for paying for college isn't exactly working out, I might need to rely on a scholarship. Yeah, I can just apply for one and get one. Sometimes scholarships don't even open up for eligibility until you're later on in your college years. No problem. All right. Any more questions? Okay, I think we might be done.
So next week we will have which college we are doing, Saji?
VCU.
Next Saturday?
VCU.
VCU, okay. And after that, then the week after that is going to be
Purdue.
Purdue, and then UMD is the
UMD.
next week. So every week, Saturday, we will have this kind of meeting about sharing experience in your college and help the others to decide which college they want to go or what to expect when they go into the college. So, and thank you, Bharath and Anisha, for sharing.
Thank you for coming, everyone.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
Thank you.